Our group's Dubliner stories is Clay. Central characters. Maria, the main character in Clay, is a maid at a Protestant charity that houses women who have been overtaken by their problems. She is embedded with happiness and satisfaction, but faces obstacles in the smallest of events. Her reactions to certain challenges progress a deeper idea that she has a detachment from her own life. Joe, the man Maria nurses, resembles Maria quite closely. Joe takes fault in mere details, just like Maria, and presents speculation of underlying wounds that the story does not exemplify on. Joe serves as a downcast figure of unhappiness. Protagonists and conflicts. Maria is a lower-class matron who works for a Protestant charity. The conflicts she faces are so unimportant and almost non-existent that she focuses entirely on small details in her life, whether that can be choosing what foods to serve or the way she chooses to present herself. The focus of these small details ultimately foreshadows her symbolic death when she so carefully chooses Clay in the Halloween game she plays later in the story. Maria lets her boring routine control her. She does not control her life. Her conflict contributes to the theme because it shows how she's a prisoner to her routine life. Symbolism of Clay. The title Clay comes from Maria's experience playing the saucer game. Blindfolded, Maria picked up a piece of clay during the game. In Kim Allen Gleed's analysis of symbols in Dubliners, he suggests thinking about how the clay and other symbols relate to the overall text. Unlike the other people she was playing with, Maria picked up a more complex item that ultimately signifies a gravestone and death. Everyone else picked up a simple, more hopeful item, like a prayer book, water, and a ring. A piece of clay resonated with her the most because of her bland, dead-ended life. Clay was the least hopeful of all items. A prayer book signified a religious journey, showing a greater purpose in life than just Maria's daily routine. The water symbolized a journey and/or immigration, which Maria would reject because she's so accustomed to her life now. A ring represented marriage. As an unmarried woman, Maria has no relationships and scolds herself for distractions outside of her daily routine. All of these symbols essentially represent things that Maria cannot mentally allow herself to have. Uncertain words. She changed her blouse too, and as she stood before the mirror, she thought of how she used to dress for Mass on Sunday morning when she was a young girl. And she looked with quaint affection at the diminutive body which she had so often adorned. Diminutive, extremely or unusually small. Context. This sentence connects to the bigger picture of adulthood in the story. By mentioning the small body she used to have, she reflects on how much her life has changed and the person she has been shaped into. Representation of poverty. James Joyce's short story Clay is about an unmarried working woman. In Nicholas Fargnoli and Michael Patrick Gelsoppi's analysis of Clay, they interpret the dull point of view of Maria's lower middle-class life. Though Maria seems to possess a secure job in life, she ultimately has little control over her life and is presented with minimal opportunities for change because of her low social class. When she picks Clay during the game, with the Donnellys and neighborhood girls, the clay symbolizes death. Death in this case does not necessarily signify her actual passing. The clay represents how dead her existence is as she spends her days following the same routine. James Joyce's depiction of Maria's life illustrates the lower middle class as a bleak way of life, with negligible options for something more. Color is very present in Clay. Clay emphasizes the color brown when describing Maria's rain cloak and the hat worn by the man on the tram. Brown symbolizes isolation here. Maria is stuck in her repetitive life and focuses on smaller details to make herself feel better. The color brown is used to show Maria's boring life. Relationships. Maria attends a party at the home of Joe. Maria was the nurse of Joe when he was a baby. Joe still views Maria as his mother more closely than his own mother. Joe wanted Maria to live with him, but Maria wanted to embark on her own life and journey. Their relationship is so important because they resemble each other in so many ways. They are both sparked by small challenges and react the same. Their relationship as they both grow older could have explained this significance. The bigger picture. Maria can be seen as a symbol of Ireland itself. As she compares closely with the pervert from an encounter, she is poor and unknown in many ways. She is a member of the Roman Catholic Church, typically from Ireland. She also gets distracted by a colonial-looking gentleman, who might closely resemble England, and loses her gift. Maria is interpreted as a symbol of Ireland because she closely relates to everyone in different aspects of life. Reference to paralysis. Like many stories in Dubliners, paralysis is presented in Clay. Maria is not physically paralyzed, but her life and her existence in itself seems paralyzed. In the beginning of the story, the speaker says that Joe often wanted Maria to come live with them, but she felt herself in the way, and she'd become accustomed to the life of the laundry. Maria is so fixed on her way of life that she resents any opportunity for change. Even though she has a way out of such a routinely life, she is mentally incapable of letting go of such familiarity. She is so used to her routine and is basically paralyzed into living her congruent everyday life instead of branching out to discover a bigger meaning to her existence. Age emphasis. The overall age of the characters is adulthood. This shows us that Joyce is a grown adult and has lived and learned through his experiences. Epiphanies. Epiphanies, or revelations, are written throughout Clay. The characters may either have these epiphanies and react to them, or the reader may be given these revelations before the characters themselves. When playing the Halloween game, Maria blindly touches the clay, meaning she will have an early death. She then touches the prayer book, which shows she may find a way out of this demise. This epiphany is given to the audience rather than Maria herself. So, where does this story belong? This story belongs to the public and adults. It tells the story of how people can be trapped in their routines and will not escape them even if they can. Many adults in Ireland wish they could have escaped, but could not due to their financial situations.